Welcome to another edition of the Marvel of Horror podcast, where we talk all things past, present, and future as they pertain to the horror genre. Your host, your friend, your fellow horror enthusiast, Bruce Marvel, and his newfound friends from Clockout Films, Daniel C. Davis and James Brett Taylor, get together and we talk, being proud natives of the state of Delaware. We talk all things when it comes to the urban legends of the state of Delaware. We also talk about their film, Slaughter Beach, which you can stream now on Tubi, and I highly recommend you do. And we also talk about one of the strangest movies I've seen in a long time, The Greasy Strangler. If you're going to see it, it's definitely see it once. That's all I can really say about that. But hearing more about it, let's start the show. Welcome, my friends, to the Marvel of Horror, where we discuss all things past, present, and future as they pertain to the horror genre. We've been away for a while, but glad to be back. And with me today is two founders of Clockout Films. He is writer, director of Slaughter Beach, Daniel C. Davis. And this is producer and cinematographer for this particular film, Brett Taylor. Guys, thank you so much for coming over, joining us.
Man.
Had a... we were talking about your morning. Your
Jesus.
you don't want to call out the particular construction crew, do you?
Oh no, absolutely not.
Okay.
No.
Okay. 3 people who watch this show will not mind. Guys, first and foremost, though, what is like your first experience with the horror genre? Like, what got you in? What got you hooked?
Well, I would say for me, and I've said this answer before. My grandparents owned a video store growing up.
Nice.
So one of my earliest memories is just roaming like the horror aisle, because it would be like a bunch of like horror VHSs, and I would grab one and take one home every day. And then actually like extended from that is me and my grandfather would watch Joe Bob on TNT.
Nice.
Every weekend. So
That's awesome. Bro, what about you?
My brother and I used to go to a lot of video stores, and we used to just rent horror and just watch it all the time. And I bonded with my brother and my cousins over horror when I was in middle school, and then eventually just grew into an obsession.
That's fucking awesome. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's like I said. I miss video stores.
yeah,
like
me too.
Yeah, well, like I don't know, VHS like tapes are coming back. I never thought I'd kind of see that, but it is happening. I wonder if like video stores will like in some capacity will kind of come back too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, our Dan Blake brought us to this really cool store called what was it, Retro Replay?
Yeah, Retro Replay.
I think I've heard of that store.
It's in his hometown, Baltimore. He's actually working on a short film called Shit Baby, which will be a Clockout film. So
yes.
And he brought us to this store, and it's got like a couple walls of VHS tapes. I was able to find the original Carpenter, Wes Craven's Swamp Thing.
Oh wow, okay.
And then I was able to find Subspecies 3. I was able to find. We were able to find a couple of Toxie VHS tapes, but he was like, "No, put those back."
Toxie 3 was the rare one that was up on the shelf.
Yeah.
No, it was either Toxie 3 or 4. 3.
Man,
Right.
And he made you put it back?
No, yeah, because he was just like, "I can get you that." Yeah. And then
Subspecies 4.
Subspecies 4. What else did we find? We found Remote. Remember Moonbeam? Remember Charles Band's like kids movie run during the 90s where he made like Prehysteria and Pet Shop and Beanstalk? You don't remember these?
I don't remember any of those.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh.
Can I get copies of these? I'll definitely watch them.
I'm pretty sure they're on Tubi if you look them up.
Okay,
Because
cool.
pretty much all the Full Moon stuff's on Tubi.
That's
so.
right. That's what you were saying.
Yeah.
Full Moon stuff
And so
on
is
there.
Slaughter Beach. You can watch it right now.
Yes. So what brings us here today is I am with the producer, writer, director of Slaughter Beach, which you can watch on Tubi right now for free. So just to give like a kind of like a summary, we're following. There's a escape maniac, kind of, because that's like the newspaper clipping. But we basically got a killer going after people using a fishing rod, and two friends who dad's kind of like, you guys are a couple of fucking bums, you need to get a fucking job, kind of stumble. Well, I don't want to give too much away, but involves these two characters that are actually very funny. Like the jokes are really good with these two guys.
Thank you.
And being like, I'm born raised Delaware. I love Delaware. First in the Union, best in the East, Delaware. So it was really cool seeing. Oh man, that's fucking Rehoboth Boardwalk. That's Broadkill. And I think there was a couple of locations. Was it?
We did Kit's Hummock.
Yeah.
We did a little bit of Lewis.
Okay. Yeah.
We did a little bit of Cape Henlopen.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, I swear that's. I did Bike to the Bay many, many years ago, and we used to end up in Cape Henlopen, and I was like, man, I know that spot. I think that's what it is too. So that was really cool. But yeah, tell us about yourselves. Tell us about give us more about this film and like how this film happened.
Okay, well, it was because we were driving to a video gig in Rehoboth.
I think it was Ocean City.
Was it Ocean City? Yeah, it was Ocean City. He's got a better memory than I do. I took too much LSD in the 60s. So we were driving to a gig in Ocean City, and then we every time you go down Route 1 or Route 13, you always see the signs for Slaughter Beach. So we just were like, what if that was like a campy horror movie? And then we looked it up on IMDb, it wasn't there. So then we started pitching like the prospect of making that into a real movie.
Yeah, and it's funny because, like I said, going down the beach all the time, being from Delaware, I always thought I'm sure anyone who's ever passed that sign is like, yeah, it sounds like a horror movie, Slaughter Beach. And finally, in the year of our Lord 2024, we could say there is one, and then we can watch for free.
Exactly.
And it's even better because it's fucking filmed in Slaughter Beach. It's filmed in fucking Delaware. But no, that was always. I think that the first episode I did on the podcast, before I even heard of this movie, me and my wife were joking. I'm like, yeah, Slaughter Beach. It's like,
see, it's got like a ring to it.
Yeah,
right?
of course. Tell us more, like how, and then like how did it really physically start coming together? Like what started happening?
Well, it was originally like going to be two separate movies. One was like a superhero parody movie, which was based off of like, as growing up, I was a big Kevin Smith fan, so I just did like a rip-off comic of Bluntman and Chronic. And then, but they eventually kind of like became their own personalities and their own characters, Bludgeon Man and Awesome Boy.
25 cents is a good rate.
Right?
It's cheap. That's good.
So I wanted to do a movie based on that. And then, at the same time, it was just when we started coming up with the idea for Slaughter Beach. Slaughter Beach had like the main villain, but he didn't have heroes to go after the villain, right? So I was like, in like this weird like writer's block, I blended the two together, and I'm like, okay, here it is. That's the movie. we got this weird Meatballs, Animal House, Ernest Goes to Camp type superhero comedy.
That's a great way to put it too. Like all that stuff mashed in. It's cool. And if you look at it from the superhero like aspect, like he's even. I don't want to give away who the killer is, but the killer is kind of like. He is like a campy, like super villain at the end.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's even like a crazy super villain like plot.
Because me and Brett were big fans of the Adam West Batman, so we wanted to have like that. We wanted to have that element in the movie, to have that like that campy '66 Adam West feel.
And now it fits. Like now looking, because like I said, I just watched it and I'm like, you know what? That makes a lot of. I picked up on that. That makes a lot of sense. It's pretty cool.
Because Awesome Boy has that Burt Ward, G. Willikers kind of like feel to him.
He does, even though he's like more like the Batman, like he's more the star of the film. But yeah, he definitely has the shuffle. The bludgeoner was great. I like that guy. He was really funny, and the like the whole movie was great, but the end was really cool too. About the like what was some of the names the Italian guy was coming up with?
Oh my god,
that was fucking because we were watching it. I was like, man, that was fucking hilarious. Like that's one thing too. Like watching, especially starting out, you didn't really the humor kind of came as like a nice touch. Like you weren't really expecting it because it starts off like so serious, and it's actually got like a nice level of gore. If I could,
props to Izzy.
Yeah,
props to Trauma Queen effects. Absolutely.
That was really cool.
And then, actually, to go back on what you were saying with like the end credits scene, that was actually just completely off the cuff. We were shooting in Potnets, And then you know where Potnetz is, right? Along
Oh,
the
yeah.
Delaware. So like his uncle has a beach house there, so we were
Nice.
able to basically shoot there pretty much rent free for like 80% of the picture.
Okay.
And like no one would bother us because we already let security know, so the community already knew we were filming around during the night.
That was going to be my next question. Did you run into any kind of like real problems with the film?
When it was outside of Potnetz, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, but like you know, like the internal locations, we like you know we obviously asked for permission like ahead of time and everything.
Surprisingly, the security guards were really nice and actually very interested in what we were filming.
Yes,
too.
most of the time they would just kind of like hang out and just watch us film.
So you were a cinematographer in that film. The cinematographer's like really cool. So did you guys both go to the University of Delaware? Is that where you
We
guys
went
studied?
to Wilmington University.
Wilmington University.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we met Jim Canatelli there, who plays Fishman Sam, and he became a good friend of ours. And we kind of became our own like little niche band of misfits in Wilmington University. So from that point on, we were brought up in Newcastle County. Like the literal county. So we interned for them, doing like video and TV work for them, and that's how it became even a tighter group that wanted to work on a movie together. So
It's fucking awesome, man. So what do you guys like? What do you guys got in the works now? Anything?
well, like we said, Daniel Blake's working on Shit Baby.
Shit, baby.
He's getting that, and he's getting that in
can't-
pre-production.
I can't wait to see more of it. Just like
Well, you'll have to bring him on to know what
yeah, absolutely,
to know all the details on that.
And then we also had The Fiddler that we're working on right now, which is going to be a straight horror flick.
Okay.
Starring Bludgeon Man himself as the villain this time.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's more of a Goosebumps, Are You Afraid of the Dark type vibe. So
All the stuff
Tales from the Crypt.
all the stuff I grew up with. Very nice. Very nice. What I don't know. Are we gonna is Shit Baby gonna have any? Is it gonna be inspired from the Greasy Strangler at all?
I believe so. I mean, my inspirations are more I'm more in the realm of Sam Raimi and Ivan Reitman, a blend of those two.
Okay.
And then Dan's inspirations are
pretty good learning tree.
more like John Waters and Lloyd Kaufman and all the over the top out there guys.
Okay. Well, that's a great mix. Like I said, it's a very great learning tree to be under and be inspired by. You guys picked this movie called the Greasy Strangler. So, I don't know the director, but it was produced by Elijah Wood. Like I said, the film looks great as a film. It's very odd. It's very awkward. And like I said, me and my wife watched it. And like I said, we were telling you earlier, it's like first I was like, man, I wonder if they're fucking with us to see if we'll really watch this movie. Because that's kind of what like watching a show.
In a way, yes.
Yeah, it's a very, very long, jokes going on too far, very too long. I mean, very making you feel uncomfortable the entire time.
But you can't look away.
Well, I don't know. My man's penis, I could look away. My man's penis. A lot of penises in the film.
The car wash scene.
Well, not even the car wash. I'm talking about the son. The son's penis. I was like, that's the weirdest fucking thing I've ever seen. It looked like
a little bean.
It looked like. Okay, I'm trying to. It looked like. It looked like a baby's pinky toe with like a red crayon, like the fresh crayons. You know what I mean? Like they're real nice and pointy and pristine with that on the end of it.
I've never heard this description.
Yeah,
It was fucking weird. Like I said, it was weird. Like I didn't stop and just do like that's just so good I saw because I looked at it and I was like, I just looked away. I was like, and even my wife was like, "Oh God, fast forward that part." I see that fucking thing. It was like it's really weird. Even his penis has like this. I'm like, these penises.
It looks like a carrot.
They look
like
like they're fucking real pointy. What is? I don't know. Anyway, yeah.
Hootie Tootie Disco Fruity.
Porto.
Disco Fruity.
Porto.
Porto.
I need to know what the chips are made of.
Porto.
I was like,
Genius editing. I like how it's just the same shot, like just repeated over.
Really? I mean, like it's as far
It's
as
the same take over and over again.
the editing, like you said, the way they filmed it and all this, like it's just like the same stuff. The editing was great. The cinematography was great. Like it looked like there was a lot of like money behind like this movie.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, some of the kills were just like outrageous. I mean, they're like my man,
Like the hot dog man.
the hot dog man, who I think it was one of the people at the hotel who got like his face punched in, and it definitely reminded me of like Trauma. It looked like Trauma versus like cartoons where like you're waiting, like his face is pushed in, you're kind of waiting for it to like come back out.
Eyes
Yeah, the eyes turned into like fish before they like popped. So the Greasy Strangler is a movie about a father-son who run a disco tour. I'm kind of thinking the disco tour is bullshit, but you gotta watch the film. And so the son's living there. They're both really strange. They only have like 2 sets of underwear and 2 sets of outfits that they wear every day. And the dad loves to cover himself in grease and moonlight as the Greasy Strangler, who, yes, is a man covered in fucking grease who strangles people. And it really has some serious, like, superhuman strength, too. I guess whatever power he gets from the grease.
The power of grease.
The power of grease. And, like, watching the film, spoilers, watching the film, I was like, okay, is he, like, literally producing the grease because he's eating so much of it? Is that what's going on? Or then it's like, okay, he just has like a vat of grease that I don't know where he gets it. I mean, I know he got some of it from the fucking hot dog.
Or maybe he collects it.
Maybe, yeah, I don't know, but it's weird. That's like, I mean, obviously the whole movie's weird, but the father-son relationship is strained when Janet comes into the picture. Janet, a young woman the son meets on the disco tour, and things just get really interesting when she's introduced, and she's
Are we exclusive?
you cornball. The delivery of the guy is like, yeah, he made me do he made me do crunches. I've never done a crunch in my life, and made me barf. He also molested me. Wait, what? I thought he was just tough on you. And then he just kind of really grosses over that, like glosses over that. But the guy fucking molested him, and he was like, how old were you? I was 18. I mean, not that that makes it any better.
I think the genius of that movie is that it plays on the cliche of like what a regular formatted movie is.
It does. Like I said, I've never seen anything like it.
Like,
I mean, it's
like what you're expecting, it flips on its head.
pretty much. I mean, like there's everything in that movie I wasn't expecting. I was like, okay, I'm not. This is it's very bizarre. It's just a very bizarre, in a good way, I guess. Like I'll never probably go back and rewatch it, but I'm like glad I did watch it. I guess that's the best way I could put it. It's like I feel like everyone's got to see it at least once. They got to know like this movie is real.
You've seen it multiple times.
I have.
Seen it multiple times.
I've seen it multiple times.
How did you discover this movie?
Well, our glorious comedic star John McCoy, who plays Blunge Man in Slaughter Beach, who actually got nominated for a comedy award in his portrayal.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
He recommended it in such a weird and sly way, and like John's humor. He's like, if you want some wholesome family entertainment, you should watch Greasy Strangler. I remember the text he gave me, and I was just like, I was like, what the hell is Greasy Strangler? And then I look it up, and I'm like, okay, play it.
We've been in talks of trying to get Michael St. Michael in one of our films, too. So
I really want to have him cameo.
Okay. Well, good luck. That would be great. That would be really cool. I was wondering, like I said, when you said shit baby, for some reason I just imagined like a baby, some like hell baby, like who smears himself in shit, like killing people, like the Greasy. Because I just watched the Greasy Strangler. No, if that's gonna be
something far more far-fetched.
Oh wow!
Yep.
Cannot fucking wait.
just imagine, you know, the South Park episode with the sea monkeys.
No.
Oh, when
But I think I know.
when Cartman sprinkles semen on the sea monkeys.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, imagine that, but with feces.
Ooh, man. Okay.
There you go.
It blows people's minds every time we say.
Man, and I thought when I watched Elsa, She-Wolf of the SS, I've seen everything. Apparently, I have not. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that movie.
I've never even heard of that.
So, I might have told this story on the podcast before. If I do, excuse me. So years ago, you know how they do like Exhumed Fest and stuff like that. I don't know if you guys have ever been
Yeah,
to
of
them.
course.
So a buddy of mine, Neil Vokes, was like, "Hey, you know, me," and he calls them like his Eurotrash buddies. Like there's this whole group of guys. They watch nothing but like Eurotrash films. There you go.
Hey.
There you go. Like, you know, Last Nun of Munza and like all kinds of stuff I never heard of. So he's like, "Hey, there's like this Exhumed Fest, you know, and it's the revenge. Revenge is the theme of the movies, but we don't know what the movies are. It's 12 hours. You want to go?" And I said, "Yeah, I want to experience something like this. I want to experience this." So we go in, and again, I am out of my element. I'm not gonna lie. This is like, you know, there's like a guy who's watched like WWE's entire life going to like, you know, CZW for like the first time is how I equate it. So we go in, the first movie is like the No Mercy Man. It's like some old like Sid Haig movie about a guy who's got PTSD, comes back to like his dad's ranch, and like you can tell he's not fitting in and he's crazy, and like Sid Haig and like his buddies are like the guys who come later to like terrorize grandma, rape the daughter, do all kinds of shit, and then he snaps and he becomes the No Mercy Man.
Okay.
Oh, you haven't had Sid Haig, so
No, so
Yeah,
the
there
No
you go.
Mercy, the No Mercy Man was one of them. I think Vice Squad was one of them. So it was all like these crazy Big Boss. Man from Chinatown was one of them, I think. So it was like all these movies, Death Weekend, and it was all like movies that go by like another title in another country or whatever.
Okay.
So they get to, so I'm like, yeah, this is really wild. These fucking movies are crazy. So the last film was called Elsa, She-Wolf of the SS, and it's like, you ever see when they did the Grindhouse double feature, Tarantino and Rodriguez,
Yeah.
and Rob Zombie made the trailer for like Werewolf Women of the SS. It clearly has. She's not a werewolf, but like it has like that whole like kind of feel. And yeah, it's about this woman who runs like a death camp, but it's all like Jewish women death camp, and she's just like this fucking sadistic monster, Elsa. And it's really bizarre.
it's made in the 80s?
70s.
70s. Ooh,
Made in the
that's
70s.
even more risque.
So I'm sitting there watching it. I'm like, like I've been here for like 12 hours, you know. And I'm like, this movie's fucking crazy, man. What the fuck am I even doing watching this? And what's funny is like the guy behind me, like, bullshit. It's the fucking edited one. I'm like, there's an unedited version. This movie's are.
So there was actually a person who's seen this movie before.
Yes.
Enough to the point where they know it's the edited version.
Yes, exactly. And he was not alone. This was like, I forget where it was in Philadelphia. I want to say it was like I want to say it's like the theater, like the little student theater, like Temple maybe. I forget where they have like Exhumed Fest in Philadelphia. And they always change it up, if they even still do it. But yeah, enough people in the room were not happy that this was the edited version. And they knew it, like, right from the start. They were like, this is the fucking edited version. I'm like, I've never even fucking heard of this movie. You should fucking do version.
Is Exhumed Fest part, like, Exhumed Films?
Yes, that's it.
Yeah, I love this. This is actually from Exhumed Films.
That's what's up. That's
Yeah.
awesome. I thought I've, like, noticed that shirt before.
I got it at the drive-in.
Yeah, they do a lot of the Mahoney
Yes.
stuff, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so you know they do the, like, going back to, like, the VHS things. You know they do, like, VHS?
VHS Fest, yeah.
You guys ever been to that? You guys going?
I've actually never been able to go to that yet.
You should go this year.
We should.
I want to, man. My friend Sarah is she has like a company called like Spider Boutique, and she has like a table up there, and she was showing like videos and stuff. It looked really cool. I haven't been to Mahoning in such a long time. I used to go like every year for the John Carpenter thing, but now I got a baby, so it's kind of hard for me to do anything.
Fair enough. Yeah.
But I love it.
I mean,
Soon you'll be able to bring your child to that.
well, now the
day.
things are on hold at Mahoning because the projection
that's
side.
right.
Yeah. So
Do you know anything? So what's going on with that?
well, I know
died,
that.
right?
Yeah, the owner as well as the projectionist. He had the two roles.
Absolute legend.
So he's pretty much a legend, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he passed away, and so now the rest of his staff has to kind of like find a new projectionist, and they're holding all of the screenings indefinitely until they can find a new one.
That's a shame, man. I feel like that place always, like every couple of years, goes through something like traumatic. Didn't they have a?
They almost lost the place.
They almost lost the place. Yeah.
Yeah, because like I forget what happened. They just wanted to turn it into a parking lot or something.
Yeah, people wanted to kind of run them off the land and use it for something else.
Something
I
that,
think
for
they
like
were-
a camping site or something.
Yeah, something dumb, and it's like
It's just like this is a community, dude. Yeah,
it's
you
a
can't do that.
community, and it's like it's a nice thriving part of the
Yeah.
community. Like I feel like ever since that happened and they've rebounded, that place just like fucking exploded.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember going there and it was like you could probably still get in, like the weekend of. Not now. I mean, all those weekends are like always booked, and you got what Joe Bob
Right.
Briggs does stuff up there.
Yeah,
right?
and we went
Bruce
to
Campbell
the
was
Bruce
there.
Campbell Fest. So that was one we went
Got
to.
to
where he-
ask him a question, which was like,
Oh my God! What did you ask him? And how was he? I've always wanted to meet Bruce Campbell.
he's cool.
Yeah, he seems like he is.
Yeah, he's basically what you see is what you get. So the Bruce you see like on interviews is the Bruce you'll meet in person.
That's fucking awesome, man. Well, hopefully he comes back, 'cause I'd love to meet him.
So he's like completely cynical and smart ass.
Wouldn't have it any other way, Bruce Campbell.
And
last
then
time we were there, I think it was Troma, wasn't it too?
yeah, we went to Troma Fest and saw Nukem High.
Yeah.
And then what was the other one they played? They played Eating Miss Campbell by Liam. That was a really good one. He's a new guy coming up in the Tromaverse.
Crazy, wacky movie with tons of gore and tons of crude humor.
I'll have to, like I said, I'll have to watch it. Is it on TV? It is.
It's
right?
on Troma now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Troma now, and I actually think it's kind of like the new renaissance. Started the new renaissance for Troma.
Well, it's good. You know what I mean? Like more films like them need to come back because now we're just kind of
I feel like A24 is kind of like taking over everything.
A24,
And then it's being paraded as independent horror,
but it's kind of not
not
anymore. It's
Yeah.
kind of not anymore. I'm glad you said that. I was kind of thinking that. Nothing again. I mean, they still put out good stuff.
Nothing against Ty West or anything, but
No.
you know,
Well, even so, like I talked about it on the show.
Delaware
before.
represent, right? So
Fucking yeah, right. Like I said, man, Delaware, first in the Union, best in the East. I came up with that. Don't steal it. It's proof here. I feel like Blumhouse in like, I don't know, like from 2008 to like 2012 were like the really good years of like Blumhouse. I mean, don't get me
I
wrong,
agree.
they still put out some good stuff, but now, yeah,
They're
like
oversaturated.
very
now.
oversaturated.
All just ghost movies, and it's just like
and they're always ghost movies in like a newer house. It's not. It's never like the old dark house type movies that we
No.
got from like the 80s and the 60s.
Not at all. And like I think what because like I love like the first two Insidious movies. I love.
Did I say the 60s? I meant the 30s and 40s. What the hell am I
We know
saying?
what you meant. We know what you meant.
Yeah.
yeah, the first two Insidious films are great.
They were really good, but I think it's not like Hammer, where Hammer's really good at like using the same set, right? Mm-hmm. That fucking Insidious house is in every single in the Conjuring universe. That's the same fucking house in every fucking movie, and you can tell. You can fucking tell. I'm watching. What was I
That's
watching?
crazy. I never noticed.
Go back and watch it. They
Maybe
don't-
that's why they all look the
they-
same.
Yeah.
right. That's why they all feel like the same. Like if you go, what's it?
But sometimes that's cool because like
Sometimes, yeah.
because like Hill Valley is the same town as the town in Gremlins.
Yeah.
So
That you can tell, and that like I said, they disguise it enough to where like you look back, like retrospect, and it's like, oh yeah,
yeah.
But like these movies coming out like every 2 years. What was it? The Curse of La Llorona, I think the movie was. I was like, it's the fucking Insidious house. Look, it even feels like the same fucking. It's trying to be the same movie. I also feel like this is like the best time and probably easiest time to make independent horror.
Yeah, it's kind of like an influx. Like back in the 80s where there was like the VHS boom, like it was so easy to get your film like mass distributed because of all the video sales. So independent companies like, like Empire and Canon and, I'm probably missing a couple others because there were so many back then. And then
we'll put them in post.
Yeah. Yeah, you could go in and just be some guy, and you're like, "Oh, I got this idea, and then here's my script. Will you produce it? Sure. Here you go, kid. Here's $10,000. Make a movie."
Keep telling you, Dan, that this new decade is going to be like the new renaissance of horror coming in, and everything. Horror's been getting really good the past 5 years.
Horror's been getting great. It's been getting, like I said, horror is like horror is like the punk rock of film. It won't die, no matter how much you try and fuck it. Even the metal, because I'm a fucking metalhead. So you can't kill the metal. You can't kill horror films. They're just going to get better. They're just going to get smarter. And like you said, now, I mean, I don't know if you guys being filmmakers really feel this. I, as a fan, feel this. Like, we're living in this very, like, fuck you Hollywood right now. So making a film like yours is probably the biggest middle finger you can fucking give to them. And you got people like on board. There's like a lot of people who are like, nah, you know what? As much as I want to see the next superhero movie, I fucking hate Hollywood. So nah, I'm not gonna see it.
You know what one of my worst pet peeves about Hollywood these days are? Going back to what you were saying about the opening credits and all the studios, is you look at Disney or something like that, and you see end credits where it's just like 10 minutes of just constant credits, and you're like, it kind of like ruins the runtime, because let's say something's like 120 minutes long, but in reality the actual movie is like 110 minutes long.
Yeah, well, these films, I mean, and don't get me wrong, if the film's good, I'll sit there for 2.5 hours. I'll sit there for 3 hours. Yeah. But yeah, a lot of these films are like 3 hours. But the last like 30 minutes is like the credits. But you need, like, so many people went into making that film, and I'm sitting here wondering, like, if this film cost like $200 million to make, what did these fucking people get paid? It couldn't have been a lot.
Right.
It couldn't have been fucking a lot.
It makes you think, right?
It really makes you think. If you made Avengers Endgame for like $250 million, and that whole cast was probably like $100 million when you tally up their salaries, like,
and I'm sure it breaks your heart, because I see like you got like a lot of, I see a Mr. Sinister like bust right there. So.
Oh yeah, like I said, well, me
and the Colossus, and you obviously a big Marvel fan. So
I am a big Marvel fan, but I'm like I haven't read the comics in a long time. They're not my era comics anymore. I kind of got like guys like, and I get it, like comics, they should be for like the younger generations. You know,
it's for that 10-year-old that wants to pick it up and
exactly, and it should be. I think that was I think that was one of the things with comics why now they're doing so badly, because one, they're charging like $5 an issue. Who's got $5 to pay for one comic book?
Yeah, it's like 15 pages.
Yeah, well, that, and it's like, well, you know what ties into this bigger thing we got going on. So if you want to know what's going on with this bigger story, you got to get Spider-Man and the Hulk and the Avengers, and well, guess what? You got to get all the X-Men issues done. It's like, nah, no one. That's why the comic book industry is failing. You can charge that much because you tried to keep the older generations in for as long as you could, and they're the ones who have the money. It's not for the kids. You got other stuff for kids, but they're not like the main Spider-Man story like going on. And DC does it too, and like the movies are getting like real kind of sketchy and out of control. I mean, I was a real big fan of like everything up to Endgame, and I still like a lot of the other stuff, but I just feel like all the comic book movies forget who brought them to the dance. Like, if you watch Iron Man, you can tell
Yeah.
They tried to keep as close to the comic as they could, right? Because they knew the diehard fans were going to come see it. The diehard fans are the ones who are going to bring their girlfriends, their boyfriends, their kids.
Mm-hmm.
But now they're trying to make it like, okay, well, they're going to come see it regardless because that's who they are. We want to get everybody else because we got to make.
So you're saying it's become more about the name rather than the
it's
actual.
become more about the brand than the actual storytelling,
Yes.
and the actual lore. And when they try to,
it's become a product.
Pretty much, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Star Wars, same thing. But I was never like a huge Star Wars guy. I mean, I like the original films, and I feel like I don't know, horror tries to do that too, but some of like the bigger.
Like
bigger
Scream,
franchise.
how we have like Scream 700.
Scream.
Yeah.
I think the last couple Halloween movies really did that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure the new Friday the 13th, when it comes out, we'll see something because they keep swearing up and down we're going to see one. I don't know when that's going to
Sean
be.
Cunningham is very tight on the rights for that.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I think he's being really smart because he knows what Hollywood's is right now.
Yeah, no, I get it. I totally get it.
He
And
probably doesn't want to give Jason up because he knows Jason will probably get ruined.
yeah, and more kudos to him for that. Like I said, we're here.
Mm-hmm.
As long as I'm alive, which I hope will be for a long time. If it takes 5 years, I'll go see that Friday the 13th movie when it comes out. Unless it's another Jason in space, then now I'll sit it out. Hey, horror fans. Help support the Marvel of Horror podcast by going to our merch shop and getting one of our exclusive items.
Part of what makes horror work is the mystique of the villains.
Yes.
Like sometimes not knowing enough motivation is what makes them scary.
Have we not learned anything from the original Halloween movie?
Right. The force of nature.
A force of nature, yeah. It's like, he's killing his sister. He's crazy. I don't fucking care.
Like I and then coming back to Slaughter Beach, people were asking me, well, what's the motivation of Fishman Sam? I was like, well, if you knew that, he wouldn't be like that.
He wouldn't be scary.
He wouldn't be scary. He wouldn't be intimidating. All we need to know is what he's after, and what he's after is trying to catch Lulu.
So is there going to be a prequel to Slaughter Beach and
not a
Lulu?
prequel per se.
No, but we are thinking about the works of Slaughter Beach 2.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we are going to probably develop things from there.
Awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
Mm-hmm.
Go and watch Slaughter Beach. Especially if you live in... I feel like if you're like me and you love Delaware, you have to watch Slaughter Beach. You have to. You owe it to the state of Delaware.
There was actually a very how should I say, flattering Letterboxd review where they said like Slaughter Beach should be a new local cult classic, and I was like, okay, if I didn't make another movie, that's a great review.
That's
that
fine.
I can go to my grave with.
That's fucking awesome,
And
man.
then there was another Letterboxd review saying, "Oh, I'm sick of these films coming out of Delaware."
What are these films?
There's nothing good that came out of Delaware in the last 10 years.
What are these films, man? See what you did, Joe Biden? See what your fucking Joe Jams did? Nah, fuck that, man. Delaware is awesome. Delaware is fucking awesome. If you don't buy that, go down to Delaware and count how many New York fucking tags you see, because they're buying up all the beach property. They don't want to fucking stay in New York. They want to come to us.
But and going to back what you were talking about earlier, the fact that we chose those spots like Cape Henlopen and then Rehoboth Avenue, where you saw like the tent. What was it called? Yeah, and then the other spots in Lewis. Like we wanted all Delaware people to recognize things.
Mm-hmm. I did too.
The giant
right away.
gazebo.
Yeah, the giant gazebo. There you go. I don't know why I was.
The fucking horror ride on Rehoboth Beach fucking boardwalk.
Yes,
I was
the
like,
Rehoboth-
oh my god, that's it! I rode on that thing.
Everybody remembers that thing when they
Hell
were a
yeah,
kid.
it's a fucking it's classic. It's a story. It's a landmark. It's awesome.
So to open a movie with that, it's just like, okay, Slaughter Beach, Delaware Beach. What's the first thing you think of? The Rehoboth Boardwalk. So there you go.
There's like some hidden like Dover beaches in there too. I mean, sorry, not Dover. Kent County beaches.
Okay.
Like Kit's Hummock.
Okay.
And Bowers. We filmed
Yeah,
on
we got a couple
Bowers.
drone shots of Bowers too. So
We were watching it. We couldn't tell if that was Broadkill or Bowers because even
well, they're
Leland was
very
like,
close together, aren't they? Yeah,
they are. But like she has her uncle had a beach house in like Broadkill.
Okay.
So like we go to Broadkill a lot, and I was like, yeah, I can't tell if that's because it looks, they look really similar, but you could tell it was one or the other, definitely.
So people would always ask us, it's like, well, why didn't you film at Slaughter Beach? Does it take place in Slaughter Beach? I was like, well, not technically. We just kind of like took the name for the inspiration of the film. We actually did go to Slaughter Beach, but it doesn't have those iconic landmarks that Rehoboth does or Cape Henlopen does, because we go to Cape Henlopen, you notice those big towers and everything. So.
Oh yeah, big time. But like I said, it still works. I mean, to me, it's like I know all those places, and that didn't even dawn on me. Mm-hmm. Like, because obviously, if you know, all you got to know is Slaughter Beach is a real place right in that area in Delaware, and if a killer was going from beach to beach, he could. They're very close together.
Exactly.
They'd be haunted too, because I swore I saw a ghost one night when we were location scouting.
Oh yeah, like what happened?
Really?
Yeah. We
believe that.
We stopped at Slaughter Beach once, and we were just looking at it at nighttime on our way back, and I just saw like a figure in the walking or across the water line, the shoreline, and I took like 2 glances. I was like, "Wait, what?" And it was gone.
Wow.
Yeah.
I believe it, because Delaware, especially like all along the shoreline, there's like so much history because of all the war history that belongs to the Delaware shores.
Yep.
And the
The
Delaware
war
River.
history, and like Delaware actually has a very significant significance to, I want to say, Blackbeard. Like there's a lot of pirate history with Delaware too.
Yeah, in Lewis, how they have all the ships outside of Lewis that are like shipwrecked, and you get all like there's actually a little shop where you can go in there and look at all the trinkets that they find on the shore. They dig up and
I forget which beach, but I'm pretty sure like they actually have like a tour, like a ghost walk tour, where they go through like all the shipwrecks and stuff in that area. I think they do it. I want to say they do it in September.
Wow,
So we were going to go to it.
We should do that. Yeah.
Well, we did a ghost tour in I think it was last year or the year before. It was 2 years ago. We did the ghost walk in Old Newcastle.
Okay.
Super cool. Old Newcastle is fucking definitely haunted.
Oh
We
yeah,
filmed
for
there
sure.
and for Slaughter Beach too, right? In Old Newcastle, like a bits and pieces.
Like I think we were planning on it and we never did.
Oh yeah, no, I'm thinking of Delaware City.
Delaware City, yeah. Delaware City's still got history to it as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, Pea Patch Island, right?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Well, even the Henry Polk House, and that's a playhouse that's on Washington Street, and then the Krabby Dick's itself is haunted as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Isn't
Which-
oh sorry.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, isn't the Fiddler gonna based around some local Delaware haunted lore too?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know about the legend of Route 12,
No.
where you have like the where it's about like this farmland where there's this farm owner who kills its helper and then feeds it to his dog, and so once the dog died, the phantom of that murder roams the fence line of Route 12 in Delaware.
No
So you
shit.
can see like a giant dog with the red eyes.
Like the Mothman.
A little bit like the Mothman, yeah. And then,
See, that's okay. So Delaware's got like its local monsters.
And then
that's
by,
crazy. I never even heard this. It's awesome.
And then it mixes the legend of Fiddler's Bridge.
Okay.
Have you heard of that one?
have not.
By St. George's.
Uh-uh.
Because apparently there's like another smaller bridge. I don't know if it still exists anymore, because I've been trying to find it since I was like, I don't know, like 18.
Maybe it's a good thing you didn't find it. Maybe, I'm saying like maybe the people in the stories who find it,
You don't hear from
you
again.
don't hear from them.
So there was never real pictures like that.
Don't go fiddling on Fiddler's Bridge.
Oh, there you go.
There you
that's
go.
That's a good slogan for the movie.
Wind up on Unsolved Mysteries.
But apparently, if you throw like coins down, you can hear like fiddle sounds, because there was this fiddler that used to like play all the time on the bridge, right? And then a big storm came in, and then he slipped and broke his neck on the rocks below.
Wow.
Crazy.
So now, whenever you go there, you can hear faint sounds of like the fiddle still playing.
Man.
Especially if you throw coins over, like I said.
Fucking Delaware ghost stories.
Yeah.
Fucking love it.
And there's one in Laurel that we haven't based off of, but there's this Maggie's Bridge where this ghost girl is said to like be screaming. You can hear her calling out for her dead baby that they both got in a car accident, and one of them
was a carriage accident.
Yeah,
it was before
decapitated. And
Oh God.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go to the bridge and you call out Maggie, I have your baby, like apparently weird shit starts to happen.
You know what? Now that you've said that, I do remember hearing this, but I haven't heard this story since I was like in high school though. But yeah, I have heard that story now because I do remember someone saying that if you say Maggie, I have your baby, she's supposed to like you'll fucking start hearing like yelling and shit or something. I was like, man, now wow. Not that I'm gonna try it.
Have you ever heard of Catman Cemetery? Oh,
wow.
that's got some history to it
Man,
as well.
dude, good. Let's go. So man, pull my chair. Am I still in camera? Pull my chair up here.
Well, apparently, my friend had a lot more like background to it, because she like is like a clairvoyant and did a lot of history on it, and but the legend goes is that it's just a simple story of like if you go there, apparently your car breaks down. Now they haven't proven it if it might be just some like radiation in the area that breaks the battery down. But the story goes that there's this mean, vengeful spirit called Catman, and he got the name because he's just this tall man with cat features. And so I imagine he just looks like Ron Perlman from the Beauty and the Beast show.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
and to me, that's like kind of like a terrifying, like vengeful spirit to be roaming around a cemetery.
yeah. I don't know. In broad daylight, if I ran into Mr. Estophanes or who's the fucking guy from Cats, that's what I thought of. In broad daylight, if I ran into that fucking thing, I'd be fucking scared out of my mind. But yeah, I do remember Ron Perlman, Beauty and the Beast. He did look like a cat. And I think, yeah, I'd probably shit myself if I was in a cemetery somewhere on a dark night and he's like, hey, what are you doing here? Jesus, got car trouble. I threw some fucking catnip this way and run the other way.
But that's like in Milford, Delaware, like right off the cusp. You can
Milford's fucking weird, man. That's a weird fucking place. I can see some fucking shit like that going
that's
down
on
there.
Route 113. You can drive by and you see it like right on the right hand side.
No shit.
So they named it Catman's Road. So
No fucking way. What's the
So I might do like a short on that as well.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
You totally should. What's the scariest of the local legends, you think? Which one you buy into the most, you think?
I'm not sure. I think the ones I just mentioned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why I want to like make films about them.
Yeah. No, dude, it's awesome, man, and you totally should. And I hope you guys I hope you guys just continue to put like fucking Delaware on the map because like I said, I'm Delaware's hype man. I love Delaware. You wouldn't know it from this awesome history I don't know for the first time. But I love living in Delaware, and I love like you guys are like doing films and stuff about the stuff in Delaware. It's fucking great. I was very giddy when I was watching Slaughter Beach. These fucking places I've been to.
A lot of people get giddy when they're like we searching.
Oh,
for
that's
all
the ice cream
places.
shop in Delaware City. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I remember how cool it was back in the day when like they were like, Fight Club's like based in Delaware, and I was like, Delaware gets mentioned. That's still fucking awesome.
But there's no Delaware locations. Like,
Nah, they're trying to. So I remember like a buddy.
it looks like it takes place in Governor Prince.
Some of it does.
Yeah.
Whew. Paper. I feel like I've passed a house similar to the one on Paper Street. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Fucking Fight Club.
I'm just looking forward to the new Swamp Thing.
Me too. What's that?
James Mangold.
James Mangold. Mm-hmm. Did they say who's playing Swamp Thing?
I don't think they mentioned it yet.
Okay.
Probably Skarsgård because they put him in everything now.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Someone showed me, so I'm real pumped for that Nosferatu movie coming out.
Oh yeah. I love Robert Eggers.
I
He's
love
a
Robert
great
Eggers.
director.
But someone showed me a picture of Skarsgård as Nosferatu, and I'm sitting there and I'm looking at it, I'm like, man, God, I hope that's fake. I think this is a fake picture. It's like this running gag on it. He looks like fucking Billy Corgan.
He does.
From what's the album they put out after, or from like Tonight Video or something? Like, so I'm like, man, come on. I hope this is fake.
Well, no one could beat Max Schreck.
Well, what about Skarsgård as the Crow?
Yeah. So I hate the way he looks.
But the movie doesn't look bad.
The movie doesn't look like terrible. Like, I'll definitely see it, but I don't like the way he looks. I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know if it's like I don't like face tattoos. I guess that's just
a new thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'm like an old man now, and it's like these kids.
I mean, even country singers like Jelly Donut. You know.
The Jelly Roll.
Yeah. No, actually, I know.
I was like, I think these kids.
Actually, the band Jelly Roll is suing the artist Jelly Roll for the name taking.
I didn't know there was a band.
Yeah.
Well, what about the band Green Jelly?
Never.
No, they're a comedy like grunge group back in the day.
Oh yeah,
they did Three Little Pigs. You remember that?
Oh,
yeah.
It's one of the sickest riffs ever.
You ever seen Dark Knight of the Scarecrow?
No.
Have you ever seen Dr. Giggles?
Yes.
All right, so you know who Larry Drake from Darkman is?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so he...
Durant.
Yes.
Robert Durant.
That would be just fine. No, I love Sam Raimi, so he's probably like up there as like my number one.
He was at the Monster Mania I went to.
Yeah,
I was in the room with him. I didn't get a chance to meet him because
that line must have took forever.
So we went into this big like I don't want to say ballroom, but like convention room.
Mm-hmm.
And, over here is like, Jane Levy and John Lovitz and the young lady from the new Ghostbusters movie. She was in the third Annabelle. Michael Ironside and the other guy from Starship Troopers. They actually got their tables next to each other. Wow. They were sitting there. It was cool. And there's Sam Raimi. And I just saw like this. It was a line. Mm-hmm. Like the worst line I've ever seen. I was like, oh my God, that's the line? And I just bought that book. I was like, oh my God.
Oh, okay.
I'll get him to sign this. This is great. So I get in the line. He's like, what color thing you got? I was like, oh, I just got the general admission thing. Like, nah, this is the VIP, man. Line's over there. The line just went through like this, up this hallway, back into like the convention. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm not doing this today. If I was like by myself, I'm like, no, I got my wife, I got my new, because I brought my son I got some good pictures of him, like taking him to the Monster Mania. I was like, no way, man, that line's like, you're going to be here till tonight.
So you basically lived
That's
out.
why you got to like cycle in people in and out of line.
So you basically lived out the horror nerd version of Christmas Story.
Yeah.
The line ends here. It begins there, kids.
That's like,
that's what we did. Well, we cycled in and out, like saved our spot, went out and did like the convention, then came back, and then took turns when we met Jeffrey Combs and Barbara Crampton.
Oh man! You know what? I was wore my Reanimator shirt today too.
Oh, nice.
I'm super jealous. I was beating both of them.
Stuart Gordon's like one of my all-time favorite horror directors and directors in general. Him and Brian Usna are just.
Speaking of Brian Usna, our other film was going to be Return of the Living Dead Part 3.
Yeah.
Because we feel like that doesn't get a lot of credit.
That's actually a really good movie.
It is.
That's a really good movie. And you're right, it doesn't get enough credit.
I feel like the first one gets all the claim and glory.
It gets all the
which
claim
is fine
and
because
glory.
it's a great movie. It's an 80s classic. And, like Tarman and all that. And Linnea Quigley.
In the cemetery again.
He does a fucking costume. It's got all those great lines in it. But I do feel like Part 3 is the best of the trilogy.
Part 3 is if anyone's never seen it, Return of the Living Dead Part 3, I think it's on Prime. You can watch it. It's probably on, it might be on TV. But no, it's an excellent movie. Like you either hear about the first one, the third one. You don't hear about the second one at all. I always forget there is a second one.
Actually, the second one was the first one I watched because, like,
It's the campiest of them.
yeah,
Okay.
because I always loved like watching kid horror, and that one was it was like the little boy going into the sewer and finding the tar man and everything and solving the mystery.
See, I gotta watch it. I don't remember. I want to say I've seen it, but I don't remember it at all.
Yeah, because me and my brother, we watched a lot of stuff like Monster Squad and
Yeah, fuck yeah, of course.
stuff like that. So
I did an episode about Monster Squad with my brother-in-law, and like that's what we were talking about. We're like, man, there's no movies like that for kids.
I mean, they try to do it with like the new It movies,
They
and
try
they try to do it
to-
with Stranger Things a little bit.
Yeah,
but it's targeted
super-
towards us more.
It is, and like, who's the guy who started Bad Robot? Got his
J.J. Abrams.
J.J. Abrams, Super 8. You guys
Super
ever see
8?
Super 8?
Yeah, I've seen
Yeah.
Super 8.
Super 8's great.
That's like a cool like kids kind of horror sci-fi movie for like that's been kind of like came out in the last like 10 years or whatever.
That was a movie
But again,
before it
that's
sold out
like
to the mainstream.
That's stuff that's targeted at us because we know what it's like to be horror geeks and put up a tripod and try to make like a stupid horror movie with your
Very
friends.
true.
Yeah.
There's some horror, like, underrated B movies out there, like The Summer of 1984.
That's a great movie, man. I like that movie.
They have some coming-of-age horror flicks on Shudder that are very worth watching.
Yeah, that one definitely, Summer of '84. I remember that because that's right. It was a Shudder movie, and it was fucking. I like that movie. Check that movie out if you haven't seen it. Summer of '84. I wish they like that's. I feel like that's just a lost.
Template of a horror
Yeah,
genre.
it's a lost demographic. You're just not like bothering to try and get back or reach. It's like I don't get it. But then again, I'm
Well,
It's
you
hard
can
to
blame
do.
you can blame TikTok because TikTok's taken over the minds of all the young kids. So they're not really movie people anymore. We are.
Well, we'll see what happens because like I guess TikTok. I mean, it's probably going to be a while before anything happens. But I guess they passed that bill because TikTok
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
to shut down or sell. To
But the
America.
thing is, it's like you can take away the app, but you can't take away the trend.
No.
Because
Not at all.
there's going to be somebody that makes like another TikTok, and then that's pretty much the same thing.
Pretty much, and they haven't done. I mean, that's I was
Unless you ban the idea of that kind of thing.
I was laughing because like my brother-in-law, who's actually the editor of the Monster of Horror, Eddie, hello. He's like he's really pissed off, and rightfully so, about the whole TikTok thing. You know, that was a big thing. He was kind of like following, big story he was following for a long time, and I even made a joke. I was like, well, America is stealing your data and selling your information and feeding you things through social media apps that they kind of like, creating stories and trends and things that they kind of want you to follow. So what? They're just mad some other places doing it? Is that why they're shutting down TikTok? Because they're doing the same thing. You know what I mean? Like, what's TikTok doing that Instagram is not doing? I mean,
true.
today, maybe I'm like too old.
Everything's intertwined.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Meta, man. Meta and AI.
That
Wait till those
Speaking
horror
of
movies come
horrible
out.
tropes that are coming out right now.
big tech horror. There you go.
That's where I was kind
Yeah.
of going. Well, the big horror tropes and a lot of new age horror flicks are
How about
Text to
TikTok? You're dead.
screen.
There you go.
text to screen style conversations where they put up text bubbles in the middle of the movie and you have to read. It's just so corny and it just takes you out of the moment. It's when they add technology. Like, for some reason, I'm like looking at like a flat screen on a new horror movie or someone using their phone, and I feel like that is going to become more dated and out of place than seeing a freaking tube TV or CRT or just a normalized radio. It's just there's something about an old classic atmosphere of old technology that has more of that like oomph to it that pushes the atmosphere forward rather than flat screen.
And that's why for Slaughter Beach, we didn't really like have it take place in any real time period. It kind of takes place on its own wavelength.
And I like how you guys did that. I think some of the best movies that have been coming out are movies where like you're not really sure. Like a great example, and I've mentioned this movie many times on the show. It Follows.
Okay, yeah.
What year does that take place in? You have no clue. Because they have a tube TV, and she has like something that's almost like a phone, but it really isn't. It's like that seashell thing. But she's the only one who has it. Like they don't have cell phones. The cars look kind of like whatever. The houses kind of look like whatever. Like you can't look at that film. But even the clothes are just kind of, they don't really fit like a style. Maybe the 80s, but you're not sure. Like that, I like when films, like your film, like you can't really, if you go back and watch, like you kind of guess it's modern times. But you can't really tell. I think that, like you said, that works because I think when you start seeing stuff from the past, things are more believable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when you start, because Scream is founded on, I think, well, I don't understand why they just don't run out the front door. You got a phone, why don't you just use it? Like that's, when you start bringing in like the iPhones and stuff, yeah, you kind of disrupt that. You can't, what's the word I'm looking for? Disenchant the audience and you can't suspend their disbelief.
Right.
It's kind of what I agree with you.
Kind of
on
like
that.
Talk to Me that came out, and it's just like, ugh.
Oh man, I like that movie. I thought that movie was kind of poking fun at this generation. That's why I dug it.
I don't
Like,
know.
oh man, come on, let's conjure
to me
ghosts.
about that.
Let's conjure ghosts as a TikTok challenge. I was like, yeah, you motherfuckers are stupid. And this movie's telling you and showing you.
Or the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the Netflix one. They were like, "Oh, you're gonna get canceled, bro."
Oh yeah,
I love that part though, because like then he kills everybody.
Yeah, those movies like poking fun at that audience. I can kind of get into, but like I'm more with you though. It's like I don't want to see a movie unless it's like poking fun. Just I don't need to know the year. I don't need to, just everything takes place in the 80s. Come on. Maybe I'm impartial because that's where I grew up, but that's kind of where I'm at with it. I don't want to. Modern day sucks. I don't want to see any modern day shit.
But well, it's like you said. It just kind of takes you out of the movie because it's almost too modern. It's too everyday. And then there's like a difference between like that and grounding it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Grounding it means you just have believable characters.
Well, that's, I think, like, movies today, I think that's where the real struggle is. Like, especially, like, when we talk about AI, like, AI coming up with, like, dialogue and stuff. Mm-hmm. The characters aren't believable. I think all these things are really, like, contributing to, like, why, not even just horror movies, like, movies in general just aren't good. Mm-hmm. Like, and it's like...
Bodies,
and if you're not going to make them good, make them bad on purpose, like Slaughter Beach. Well,
and on that note, I'm going to end it. Guys, I'm going to thank you for coming by. Like I said, Slaughter Beach, check it out on Tubi. I want to thank Dan. I want to thank Brett. Is it Clockout Productions or Clockout Films?
Clockout Films.
Clockout Films. Can't wait to see more from Clockout Films. Shit Baby. I'm hoping we're gonna have you guys back to talk Shit Baby when it comes out.
Absolutely.
Talk shit on Shit Baby. Now, guys, do come back and keep up the good work. Fucking putting Delaware on the map.
Yep.
Telling these, being independent, like being basically the punk rockers of film. You know what I mean?
And then I say that all the time. Like I want that punk rock aesthetic to kind of like be the essence of like indie filmmaking now, because I feel like, and I hate to use this term, hipsters. I feel like hipsters have taken over the indie filmmaking scene. And it's like a bunch of people that didn't even give a shit what filmmaking was like 10 years ago. But now that it's a big trend, they're like, oh, we got a fedora and a camera.
Yeah.
We're filmmakers.
And most of the horror's just filmed from shoulder up.
Exactly.
There's nothing.
Talking to you guys today, you guys are fans. You guys are real fans. You're doing it because you love it. And that's why, guys like you can take it back.
Yeah.
And punk rock, like the Misfits, that's...
And one more thing before I want to go is, I'm a huge advocate for this, and they need to bring it back, and that is MacGuffins. The use of MacGuffins in films drive the story forward a lot better than consistent sitting in a room with useless exposition that goes nowhere.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean like the bait can?
The bait can scene?
Yeah, the bait can is the MacGuffin
Oh, yes.
for the
There
middle
you
of the
go.
film. Yeah.
Slaughter Beach on Tubi. Yeah, watch a fucking Hitchcock movie from time to time, will you? I'm Bruce Marvel from the Marvel of Horror. Catch us on YouTube. Catch us at the Marvel of Horror podcast on YouTube. Just said that. Catch us on Spotify. New episodes airing every couple of weeks. And like, subscribe, leave your comments below. And you can find Clockout Films on Instagram, right?
Absolutely. You can find Clockout Films on Instagram. You can find us on Facebook. You can find Slaughter Beach Movie on Facebook. You can also buy Slaughter Beach on Blu-ray at srscinema.com. That's an exclusive. It comes with a free poster. But if you love campy horror, if you love trauma, if you love Full Moon, check out Slaughter Beach on Tubi.
You heard it here, folks. See you next time. Thank you.
The Defender Benders are here.
Ladies and gentlemen, crime fighters, 25 cents to save the day. The Bender Movie.
All right. It's our time to save them. Time to meet your maker, bitch.